We're live now, Brian.
All right, why
Pregame
don't
is
you bring us in?
on. Pregame is on, everyone. Welcome, the joint
Sorry about the
venture.
delay, everyone.
Yeah, Brian was having some technical difficulties on his end over at One Man's Opinion. But yes, we are live once again. Steelers pregame with Mike from the Two Dumb Yinzers and Brian from One Man's Opinion on Sports. Welcome, everyone.
Awesome. Yeah, it's exciting. It's a 1 o'clock game for the first time in a while.
I know it's like, I don't know how to act. I don't like my day's going to be done by the time the game's over. I like this is nice.
So everybody, I guess crack a beer, maybe
Back
eat some
to
eggs, some kegs and eggs, and
look,
join us here for the next hour. We're going to be going over the Steelers pregame. They had last week off. They are what are they in first place or are they tied for first place?
like quasi tied for first place, I believe.
Yeah, because the Ravens won again, another close one to
No,
the Bengals.
we're technically in first place. We have a 750 winning percentage. Remember the Ravens, they're 7-3. We're 6-2.
Yes,
So
yes.
we got them there.
When is their bye week? Do you know?
I do not know. You give me 1 second. I would click
Yeah,
and
you're
find
gonna
out. It,
have
it should
to
be next up.
you're gonna have to look up the injury report and everything, Mike, because uh baby steps here on this channel here. I This
I
is the first time I was able to live stream from my YouTube,
yeah.
and we have it about 25% of the way set up. So for those of you joining from my channel, welcome. This is Mike from the Two Dumb Yinzers. He's the better half.
I
The other
am.
half has today off. I don't know. He worked late last night, so I don't know if he's still sleeping or what.
Yeah, I think he is. I think he's taking the day to rest and recuperate. He had like Friday night football, Saturday night football. It just kept going and going for him.
Yeah, I know he
Uh,
did the Pitt game last night, and that
Oh yeah,
another loss by them. So I think the Pitt season and dreams and hopes and dreams of making the playoffs are completely done now.
they did kind of get screwed there. It felt like at one point, but well, I'm sure he will be fired up Monday to talk about that and the Steeler game.
Right. You guys can check out the Two Dumb Yinzers every Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. till noon. That's Mike and Ryan. They also have special guest Derpy comes on about 2 or 3 times a week. He is a character, so if you hear any Derpy references,
Oh yeah,
just know that's a great third party to the Two Dumb Yinzers. So yeah, I can't see the board this week either. We're gonna have to
yeah,
set that up for next week too, Mike. So if you can keep
hmm
an eye on the board,
yeah. I
and
got it.
I can't really. I got a new monitor. I got this curved 27-inch monitor that's here in front of
Yes,
me, and so next week I'll have that set up so I'll be able to look up like the injuries and whatnot. So, but
yeah.
this week I can't.
Mark Malone, Derpy's not here on Saturdays. Derpy's barely here during the week anyway, so
And
I
you're
don't want
lucky
to
you get
add.
them Thursdays.
Yeah, I know. I really don't want to add more to Derpy's plate. Like the more we give Derpy to do, the less effective he becomes. Like he's that role player who can excel in his role. You expand more to him, it gets kind of choppy.
Yeah, you're down by 20. You need a little spark off the bench. Derpy can get you back within 10.
Yeah,
Don't
exactly.
expect more.
He's not going to get you over the hump. He's like that good quality backup quarterback. Come and get you a game or two.
I could see Derpy with like the clipboard. Well, I guess they have iPads now, but Brian St. Pierre was probably the greatest clipboard backup quarterback in the history of the
Mm.
Steelers, and I think Derpy is a Brian St. Pierre like
Yeah,
player.
yeah. I'm not going to go quite what was it Mac? Not Mac Jones, Landry Jones level, but yeah, Brian St. Pierre level. That's a good
Yeah, he's no
compliment for
Charlie
Derby.
Batch.
He's no Charlie Batch. No, 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 no.
So we've got a 1 o'clock day game today, Mike. It's a big one. The Commanders, aka Washington Redskins, are in first place, and so are the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's an away game, a lot of hype. You have old man Russell Wilson versus the young buck Jaden Daniels. It should be a great game.
I think it is too, and Steelers should be able to move the ball on this defense, especially their run defense, like one of the worst in the NFL. Somehow their passing defense is awesome, and like some of the guys on their pass defense in the secondary, like I really don't know a whole lot about them.
We're
To
gonna
be
find out
honest.
today, huh?
Oh yes, we are. Gonna find out about them big time. But Steelers inactives just came through. Oh God.
Okay, cool.
Stupid.
I'm pulling it up on my phone here because
Yeah, me too. NFL Network just set the alert to me. I click into it, and it has the entire NFL. Here we go. Kyle Allen, he's going to be third string. Scotty Miller is inactive. Ben Skoranek, I think it's going to be taking his place. CJ Henderson, Max Sharping, backup guard, and linebacker Nick Herbig. So he's still a week away. I anticipate him coming back next
did
week.
you mention Wilson,
No,
Roman Wilson?
no, he's on the IR.
Okay, so he's out for at least 4 weeks, and they started that, I don't know, like a week or two ago, correct?
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
Yeah, the IR is at least 4 weeks, I think, minimum. I have a feeling we're not going to see him all season.
Me either. Those little snaps that he had, that's going to be it. The Commanders, they were without their kicker, Austin Siebert, Brian Robinson Jr., their running back. That hurt their game last week. Their rushing attack not having him. Safety Derek Forrest, Marshawn Lattimore, who they just picked up in the trade, linebacker Dominic Hampton, and tackle Cornelius Lucas. So Watt and Highsmith and Preston are going to go up against rookie, I believe, no, backup tackles. So they have
Uh,
like none of their starting tackles in there. So that spells doom for the Steelers.
is
It's
Phil
like that.
still in right now, Mike?
I don't see him.
Phil, if you're there, I hope you're there because I'm going to talk about TJ Watt right now, and you're going to love it.
Oh, ooh.
So, Jaden Daniels, once the play breaks down, he literally rolls about 8 to 10 yards deep to the right
Yeah.
and tries to get outside of that. I guess it would be either left end or left outside linebacker pressure. And he goes, loops out around them, and then he makes something big happen typically. This is right in TJ Watt's wheelhouse. I mean, I think Watt's going to be there all game long. I could see Watt having like 3.5, 4 sacks today,
Ooh.
unless Daniels is smart enough to step up into the pocket. When he does, Keanu Benton, Cam Hayward need to be there to get their sacks.
Yeah, those two on the inside are going to be huge, not just in their game, but like I said, in the pass game. Because Watt playing that 9 wide technique that they haven't played, doing that loop around, like you said, that's right in, like Jaden Daniels loves to run that way. And he's not afraid to step up in the pocket. But like you said, that young quarterback, is he going to fight instincts and, overcome wanting to run wide and do the smart play that you would think 4 or 5 down the years down the line, that'd be instinct to him at that point jumping in. But as a young rookie, you can probably, like you said, catch this guy coming on the outside. And I think what they need to do, and they need to start stunting blitzes with their middle linebackers into that gap where TJ Watt forms. Because everyone pitches down and you have two guys going wide, double and Watt. That's a perfect spot for like a Patrick Queen, a Peyton Wilson to come flying in when they have their nickel and dime defenses in. One of those two guys right there to cut off that running lane for Janie Daniels so he really can't step up into the pocket.
Yeah, I mean, who would have thought? Looking at the schedule preseason, it's like, all right, we have a bye week. We'll probably get a couple guys back. We'll be well rested. We can prepare for the Washington Commanders, and we should be able to get on there and blow them out. And boom, all of a sudden they're in first place in the NFC East,
Yeah.
and a real threat, to the Detroit Lions, probably the class of the division. Then you have the Eagles, you have the Commanders. I think those are the top 3 teams. There's probably another team or two that are contenders, but you can never roll out Sam Fram. But I mean, they're
No.
dropping like flies out
They're
there.
dropping like flies. They're getting McCaffrey back, but I don't know how effective he's going to be. What up, Finchy? And yeah, this Washington team, like we've been saying all week, very few people thought Jaden Daniels would be this good. One of the guys I watch, former quarterback Kurt Benkert, who does quarterback breakdowns, he's like, this guy might be the number one prospect in the for quarterbacks in the draft, and he's playing like it. And like their supporting cast around him is pretty good. McLaren is one of the most underrated receivers in the league. Offensive coordinator who's a Cliff Kingsbury. Kingsbury's their offensive coordinator, right? Yeah. He brought, like someone from, I think it was like one of the teams they beat, that little college offense that he brought is working well in the NFL. I love the way they move guys in motion, little misdirections from pre-snap, post-snap. This offense is clicking. And like you said, who would have thought like this team, I thought coming in, like, all right, we're going to play them. We'll beat them. Guys will get another kind of week's worth of rest before we have our first matchup with the Ravens. But no, this one, they need to be taking this one seriously. To be able to go up 7-2, sitting at top of your division, gain a little separation against the Ravens. And then if you can eke out a win against the Ravens next week too, you're sitting pretty, especially with this tough schedule coming down.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be, I think, this game, we're going to slow the Commanders down a little bit, but I think we're going to need some offense here today. What do you expect? And I waited as long as I could to bring up his name, but what do you expect from the new wide receiver, Williams?
I'm expecting about 3 to 4 catches, maybe about 50 yards, but I'm expecting him to right now draw that other safety back to where they
Yeah,
can't have that 8 man front because Najee, I believe, is still one of the highest rated rush or having one of the highest rated 8 man boxes he has to 8, 9 man boxes he has to run against. I think that's where Williams is going to have the most impact this week and next. It's just being that other deep threat. And I think that's why they're going to go to him early. Try and feed him the ball, get him in. So they have to be honest. And then that will open up Pickens and hopefully open up some guys like Frymuth, like Calvin Austin, like Van Jefferson. But yeah, I'm not expecting a lot out of Mike Williams, but I expect by week
do you
his
think
third
he'll
week with
play
the
more than
team.
40% of the snaps, I guess, for starters?
Hmm, I think he will. I
I
think he
don't know
will.
how quick it is to learn all the plays. Like,
Yeah.
and really, if you're not in the hurry, because last week or 2 weeks ago, I'm sorry, because we had the bye week, we
Yeah.
ran that hurry up.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if Williams is going to be able to do the hurry up because I don't know if he's going to need all the plays or if he needs like Russell to call the play and then he says to Williams right before they leave this like the huddle and says, "Okay, this is a post route," or
Yeah.
well,
Like I think that they might have to do stuff like that because remember Tomlin said one of the things he liked about him and Preston Smith is they have that NFL resume, that NFL experience, and he's been in the league what almost 10 years now, 8, 9 years, I think. He's and Russ, I think, can go, hey, this is your responsibility is like a 15 yard out, a 5 yard out, a 5 yard slant, and like be there and have your head ready for it. I think something like that. These guys are pros. They'll be able to figure it out. So that's why I think
well,
his snap cut might be higher than normal than we would anticipate for someone coming in from a trade.
do you think he'll like playing with Russell Wilson a little more than Aaron Rodgers?
I think so. My man has been smiling ever since he came to the team. Like Aaron Rodgers had his all of his Green Bay offense there, and now that those guys are starting to get hurt, now you're starting to see Garrett Wilson get the ball more. And Mike Williams was starting to get the ball a little bit more at the end. It felt so. I think he's going to be very happy getting out of that situation.
I also think on third down, you now have another option.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're going to look at Pickens. If Pickens is double teamed, that should leave him one-on-one coverage or Fryermuth one-on-one. So I really think with those two on the outside, they're big guys. They can go up
Mm-hmm.
and get the close contested catches, and I really think that's going to open up Fryermuth. So I'm hoping that they can get Russell Wilson moved in the pocket enough that he can
Yeah,
see Fryermuth.
yeah, and you unlock Frymuth. That's just gonna take this offense to an even higher level because we saw like when Ben was here his first year what Fryermuth can do with a real live actual NFL quarterback. Now we got Russ in here. He's starting to move along, but like you said, get him moving out of the pocket over the middle, which has been Russ's least air, least targeted area throughout his career. Him and Justin Fields, they're more sideline guys. But if you can get Fryermuth, it doesn't even have to be that short middle, deep middle over the field. I think Russ can stay hang in the pocket and see him over the deep middle. It's those short to intermediate routes. They also need to start hitting because that's also once again that's going to soften up that linebacking core and free up that run game.
Yeah, and even Darnell Washington.
I love the
I
way they've been
mean,
using him.
yeah, Russell Wilson seems to hit him for like two, three, four first downs a game.
Mm-hmm.
They're not any big plays. They're usually 7 yards or 15 yards, but they're usually a key play. And that's got to keep them honest because, typically you're thinking he's going to be in there to block, block, block.
Mm-hmm.
And then boom, all of a sudden he does that little drag roll
Yeah.
and he's wide open.
Yeah. And Darnell Washington, when you watch him run, it's so uncomfortable watching him run. He looks so unathletic out there. But next thing you know, like you said, he's got 7, 8, 9, 10 yards running someone over, trying to hurdle someone like he's Saquon or Najee. So just keep feeding him the ball. Like you said, that's going to keep people honest. Now you're starting to have these weapons. now you really can't key in on anyone in particular. You really can't, oh, we're going to just double team George and we're going to let the rest of the team beat us. Now you can't do that. Russ is finding ways to get everyone else involved where Justin Fields kind of struggled getting everyone else involved. And that's no knock on Justin. Just Russ has that, 12, 15-year experience of I know where everyone should be, where they should be. And if I start hitting this guy, that's going to open up more and more. And I think this game we might have an offensive explosion. I think we might.
So what do you think of Najee Harris? I mean, he's had what, like about 350 yards in the last 3 games?
Yeah, it's 3 100-yard games, and he's eyeing for his fourth, and he should have his fourth. Their run defense is one of the worst in the NFL. I think they're giving up like 149 yards rushing a game. We should be able to gash them for big runs, but I like the way Najee's playing now. He's not trying to wiggle out and be an outside runner, east-west runner, trying to get extra yards. He's playing north-south, doing the little hip wiggle that we would always watch Jerome Bettis do as a big guy. You can be shifty as a big guy with a little wiggle here and there. Next thing you know, guys are missing. You're not getting hit head on. Excuse me. I'm expecting big things out of Najee again. I'm expecting another 100-yard performance. He's finally playing like the running back I thought we were getting out of college. Like that first round pick, 100 yards a game type guy.
I'm a huge Najee Harris fan. I don't know why they didn't give him $7 million next year. I hope they re-sign him. But then again, they might just draft somebody and have somebody cheap for the next 4 or 5 years and just go that route. But I do like Harris. To me, he's like a Derrick Henry, but like maybe he didn't study for the tests. Like Derrick Henry gets 100% on the spelling bee, and like Najee gets like an 85. But he's very similar.
Yeah, similar back. My God, that's like the perfect analogy of Najee Harris. He's 85% of Derrick Henry.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a good 85%. I'll take that over most running backs in the league.
Right. There's other speedy guys and this and that, but like the size and the strength, he's got all that. I don't think he has the Henry speed though.
No, I think this year though, he finally figured it out, what it took to be an effective every down running back in the NFL.
Isn't it amazing how guys figured out on their like contract years?
Oh yeah, it's comical. Yeah, like if he would have figured this out 2 years ago when he kept, I gotta bulk up. No, you got to cut the weight, gain a little quickness because you're still going to have that power even if you drop 5-10 pounds. And he did that, got leaner, and my God, he looks like a brand new running back, and that's what I love to see. He's becoming. And the line play is helping too. This line's now opening up just a little bit holes that are just a little bit bigger for him to get through. Because my biggest complaint with Najee is it feels like he has terrible vision. He has trouble reading where that hole is going to open up, or not trusting that the hole is going to be there. And now I think everything's clicked for him now. And like you said, it kind of sucks because I would love to sign him long term, but I understand why they didn't. You weren't getting that consistent production out of him, and now we are.
Now, what do you think about is Jaylen Warren going to be, getting some carries, maybe 8 carries today or something?
I think so. You have to get him more involved in the offense because he's the quote unquote speed guy out of the two. He's the one who can break off that big long run, but he's also power enough to pound it in there too. I want to see him get more involved in the passing game out of the backfield. I love the way they use him to stay in there to pick up the blitz because he might be the best running back at picking up the blitz. But I want to see him, probably like 10 rushes, maybe about 5 catches. 15 touches a game for Jaylen Warren is huge.
Right.
It's huge. And then you're still feeding Najee about 20 times a game. And then you're still feeding Pickens and Freiermuth and Mike Williams. We have a real life NFL offense now.
It's been, when's the last time we had, like, what was it, 2018, 2019 when Ben, was healthy? Was it 2018? Was that before he hurt his elbow?
I think so. Yeah, it was like that first year Matt Canada came in. And he kind of said, and Randy Fichter came in. He's like, "I'm just going to call my own offense, boys. You can send a play, and I'm doing what I want." That's the last time we had a legit offense. It felt like.
The offensive line. You mentioned that Dan Moore, he's played just about every snap. I know he got hurt for a couple plays in the one game.
1 or 2 plays.
Then, at left guard, we're healthy. Do we get Zach Frazier back today? And if so, is he
Yeah.
100% or is he just coming back?
Oh, he's back, and way it was sounding in practice, he's 100% back.
Good, good.
And that
Okay.
guy, he was a college wrestler, dude. He's tough, man. He played what last year with the
Four-time
broken
state
leg.
champion.
Yeah, the guy's a beast. Anyone who wrestles at a high level like that, yeah, they're tough sons of bitches. And
Right.
I tell you what, though, man, that drop off from him to Ryan McCullum, it was noticeable at times, but it wasn't that noticeable. And that's no disrespect to Zach
Yeah.
Frazier. I think
McCollum did great for third string
McCullum
center.
did well. So I like that depth there. And then you got Mason McCormick right next to him. He is playing at a high level. He's one
He
stat I
was one
saw
of the
is
drafts I was happy with last
yeah.
offseason. I said this guy's gonna be great next season. Well, because of
Yeah.
injuries, he's there.
Yeah, because he was the heir apparent to James Daniels. Now we're getting that extra year. So next year, my God, he's going to be even better. Hopefully, we thought the same thing about Broderick Jones was going to make that second year jump because we saw him in
I
those
waited
last
for
nine
him for
games.
last.
Yeah, I know.
Why is
But
Broderick Jones either the best tackle in the league on one play and then a complete waste of space on another play and then takes a penalty?
because he is the Plexico Burrs of offensive linemen. You
He's not
don't
going to
know
shoot himself at a nightclub, is he?
he might. He's from Georgia. You know what those dogs are doing nowadays down there. But no, he's like the Plex of the receivers. You don't know what you're getting out of him. It's an adventure every play. And some, like you said, man, some places are like, oh my God, this guy's, you just keep him here at right tackle, and he's just gonna lock down that side. And then you watch him the next play get blown up on a pass rush, or he goes to pull and there's three guys to hit and he hits no one. I don't know what it is. I don't. It can't be coaching because all the backups that we have in there got better week in, week out. And this guy, I just think he's in a sophomore slump. I think he's just grinding it out until the end of the season. And
I
hit the
was so
reset button
happy
in the
when they went and
offseason.
got him last season, and
Oh,
now
me
I'm
too.
just like, this might have been
But
another first round bust.
I those 9 games though give me hope because when he came in and he was the catalyst of the run game. He came in, secured that line, played at an extremely high level, and I think he, like reports were saying, he came in kind of himself, and he's being humbled this year, and maybe that's what he needed. Realize, hey, you know what? I do gotta work and hone on my craft.
Yeah, I know last year when they inserted him into the lineup, our run game was struggling, and I believe we went up 70 yards a game
Mm-hmm.
after inserting him
Yeah,
from the first half to the second half of the season, basically. And the only reason he got inserted was because who was the right tackle that just
Chooks
said he didn't try?
a core for
Yeah,
Chooks a core for yeah. I
yeah,
talk about
shoot.
I hated him. That was a Kevin Colbert special right there. I oh God. I was never a big fan of Chooks, but no, like, and it was on tape too. You would watch him pull from right to left, opening up these big holes, and he was doing well in the pass rush. And that's where he needs a lot of work. That's why I don't want him at left tackle. I want him at right, so he's not getting beat on the blind side. At least he's getting beat on the front side of the play, and that's why people want him to be a left tackle. I don't buy that natural left tackle, right tackle nonsense. Like Tunch Ilkin said, that just means whatever hand you put in the ground. That makes you a natural left or right. For me, a natural left tackle is a Tony Baselli, a Joe Thompson, guys that would dominate you in the pass game and
Boselli,
in the run
yes, I
game.
think he was the
Yeah, those
best.
are Walter Jones. Those are left
Orlando
tackles.
Pace.
Yes, those are left tackles. If you're not those guys, you're interchangeable. You play left or right depending on what your team needs. And the team needs him at right tackle. I think Fatanu is a much better pass blocker, and that's why he should be at left tackle. But I think Dan Moore might earn himself another contract with the Steelers. Or
I
he
mean,
might
the
outbid
guy
himself.
never misses a game.
Best ability is availability, and he is there week in, week out. And he's gotten better year over year over year. People wanted to crap on this guy. He was a fourth round project, and we were giving passes to first round and second round picks. We held this guy to a higher standard. Now, I've always been I'm not a big Dan Moore fan, but I you can see it. You can see what he can do because he would always be matched up against the best team's pass rushers, and he usually holds his own against Myles Garrett, against Max Crosby. Those guys are going to get their stats, but they didn't wreck games.
Now I've had on my radio show on Wednesdays over there, Beaver County Radio. I've had on my show Jim Frazier. He was a former scout for the Steelers,
Mm-hmm.
and he would come on and he would brag about how great Dan Moore Jr. is. He's the best tackle. He says, no way Broderick Jones is beating him out. No way Fatano's beating him out. He's their best tackle. He's great. And I would laugh at him. And you know what? I was wrong.
Yeah.
I
And
was wrong.
I got lucky on my praise of Dan Moore. I just took a leap of faith with him. And Troy Fatano, there's talks, when they drafted him, he might move into guard as
Yeah.
well. And if you can keep Broderick Jones, Fatano could battle between him, McCormick, and Sayamalo for the starting tackle positions, because I think Sayamalo might have 1 year left on his deal as well. So they're that offensive line, like it became a strength of the team. I thought it would be from the beginning, but they've gotten better every single week. And my God, we didn't have to wait until week 12 this year to say, hey, we finally have an offensive line. So I think that's encouraging down the stretch.
And the one thing that really was worried me, and I don't know why I was picturing this. I mean, I've seen Russell Wilson play for, over a decade, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I can't believe how fast he is in the pocket or getting out of the pocket when the line does break down. I mean, Russell he escapes. I mean, he's no Justin
Mm-hmm.
Fields, he's no Lamar Jackson, he's
Yeah.
no Josh Allen, but
Yeah.
he's still fast enough to escape. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I kept picturing like old man Ben Roethlisberger back there
Yeah.
just getting sacked.
Uh-huh. Yeah. I like he just has that sixth sense. He has that, that sense of the game. He's done it, season over season, so many years. It's kind of like I heard Paul Amala say, like you plays when he would make those dynamic plays, like you just get that feel. You just been doing it for so long, you don't think you just know. And Russ has that way of just feeling that pressure coming. Still has quick enough feet to get out. And one thing I like about him, he's not afraid to throw the ball away. He'll eat the sack to prevent the turnover. So I've been surprised, and I thought he'd be running a whole hell of a lot more. But like we said, man, this line has just been stepping up big time.
Well, I don't know how far into the show we are, but we've talked all offense pretty much the whole show. Mike
Yeah,
did give the rundown of the injuries. We'll go over that again for anybody that's joining a little late. But why don't we flip to the defensive side of the ball?
yeah, we got
Uh,
about a half hour left.
your favorite subject, going back to the preseason has been what can we expect from this defensive line?
Mm-hmm. It's been it's been hit or miss. Like I've been going back through watching all 22 of the coaches film, whatever you want to call it, and like there's plays where Cam Hayward is just like a young Cam Hayward blowing plays up, and then there's other plays where one guy's just throwing them out of the window. So they're hit or miss from play to play. They need to be more consistent. Like Ogunjobi's the same way. He'll flash through and you're like, oh my God, this is the guy we brought in 3-4 years ago. He's making plays all over, and then he's getting washed out by one guy. Keanu Benton, I wanted more out of him. I thought he would have a big jump from year one to year two, but I don't think he is a true nose tackle. I think he needs to play on the outside, but because there's games like they will do well, eating up blockers and letting those linebackers fly free, and it's not consistent enough for me. And I think that's why teams have been able to run on us, because their offensive linemen are getting to that second level, getting to Roberts, getting to Patrick. So
Yeah, I mean, I've
they
seen
need to step it
Benton.
up.
He'll make a big play, and then the next play makes another big play, and then I don't hear or see from him for like a half.
Yeah. Like I don't need big plays from those guys. I just need consistent eating up blocks, eating up blocks, eating up blocks, and let the linebackers flow through. I know it's a different defense than what we ran in the heyday with the true zone blitz 3-4. We want more plays from those guys, but sometimes you just got to go back to the basics and just let those three eat space. Let your linebackers clean up. Let Watt crash down from the edge. Let Highsmith crash down from the edge.
Now, let's move to inside linebacker. We
Yes.
basically have three guys that play majority of the
Mm-hmm.
plays. We have Queen, and then we have the young guy Wilson, Peyton Wilson, that plays on the pass plays. But why don't you talk about Roberts there on the running
Oh,
game?
he might be my favorite middle linebacker on this team. My man is a heat-seeking missile. He will play sideline to sideline. I still feel bad for him. That I thought he won us the game. Well, he was at against Dallas. The
Dallas, yeah,
diving.
if we would have
Oh,
been
that goal
a
line
half a
stand.
second quicker to the ball on the
Oh,
ground, we would
yeah,
have won that game.
yeah.
And that
And
would have
he
been the biggest play for Steelers in the regular season since probably some crazy Troy Polamalu play.
or the AB reach against Baltimore on the goal line. It would be in that conversation. But like he's impressed me since last year, since when all the middle linebackers went down. He was that steadying influence of that, not just the linebacking core, but the entire defense last year. And it's carried over to this year. He's no ego. He's willingly stepped aside to let Peyton Wilson, let Patrick Queen, their emergence is not diminished the way he plays. He's not copped an attitude. He's a great team player. And I think that leader on that defense that we've maybe not a vocal leader, as in that screaming yelling, but that communicator on the defense. I can't say enough about him. Just sit there and watch him play.
Yeah.
Watch him play. He plays football the right way. It's just so instinct. It's just instinct, man. I love
Do
it.
you see him causing havoc for Daniels at all, or do you just see him more against the run game?
I see him more against the run game. I
Yeah.
think he might be a step or two slow for Jaden Daniels, but I wouldn't be afraid to put him out there because like I said, he's a smart player. He might not be fast, but he can play the angle right. And if you can get an angle, that's all you need is just to get that right angle on a guy. You should be able to hold him in. But I just have visions of Jaden Daniels like what Lamar did against Cincinnati yesterday. Drop back to the 30 and somehow make it down to the 1 yard line. I see Jaden Daniels with a couple of those plays today.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to stop Jaden Daniels today, but you need to, I think, slow him down, especially with the linebackers. We'll get into the outside
Mm-hmm.
linebackers here in a second, but I think you need to slow him down and then maybe get that big turnover in the fourth or the big
Yeah.
stop in the fourth, somewhere,
Yeah.
with 5 minutes left to kind of seal the game.
Yeah. Like we've been seeing from the other week when Watt had that, where everyone thought like, oh, he's had a bad game. The next thing you know, against the Giants, strip sack, fumble. Yeah.
Me, I'm that guy.
You're that guy. But like I was kind of same way. I was like kind of boo-booing his performance, but the booming, he does that. Like great players find a way to somehow affect the game. And that was the turning point. You can't contain these guys all game long. It's very rare it happens. So when they get their opportunity, like you said, make the most of it. And they're starting to do that now. And if they can continue, and now getting Highsmith back is such a relief to have him back, and hopefully next week getting Herbig back.
Highsmith not only helps, I mean, Herbig's a disruptor in the pass game. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Highsmith's almost as good as Herbig in the pass game, but against the run, that other
Oh,
big body out there
oh,
really helps,
yeah.
especially if they want to run away from Watt's pressure.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, then you're just running right into Highsmith, and I
Yeah.
mean, I'll take that.
Oh, I love the way he can set that edge. He's not afraid to take on blockers, and then also in the pass game too. I think he's underrated as an out. Well, because they classify him as an edge rusher now, not an outside backer. But no, like the way he plays that outside backer position, dropping into coverage, he knows zone. He knows how to read the zones. He knows where to sit. He knows where the receiver is going to be. So he's not just a damn good pass rusher, run stuffer, but also in the passing game as well. I love it. He's the complete linebacker. He reminds me of the old school outside backers who had to do it all before it became just a specialized rushing the passer.
Mike, I got a question for you. Above your
Yeah,
head, it
yeah,
has the temperature. It's 51 degrees out there,
yeah.
Pittsburgh. It says
Uh-huh.
it feels like it's 49. I don't know the
Yeah.
difference between 49 and 51. I mean,
Yeah, me either.
temperature wise, but it says the pressure's 30 inches. What the hell does that mean?
It's got to be the barometric pressure or some shit like that.
Yeah,
And like
yeah, yeah. But
I was
what
gonna
the
say
heck?
I don't know what it means, but I can feel like when the barometric pressure is high, I get these insane headaches. So I can tell
Oh,
when
I
it's
thought you were going to
happening.
say the hair on your head stands up.
Rude.
That one was for Derpy. Maybe Derpy's out there
That's his
listening.
favorite. That's his favorite joke. You're
It's a
bald. I'm like,
solely joke.
I know I'm bald. I'm bald and beautiful, baby.
Hey,
That's why they call me Big Sexy.
I've shaved my head a couple times, Mike, and my head's it's like misshaped, so it's
Yeah,
not
yeah. I
good for
got I
me.
got lucky there. I got lucky there. Like I have a nice round head to be bald, and the beard helps too. It makes everything looks nice and symmetrical.
Now, do you think that Highsmith and Watt will be Tomlin will say, go get him, or do you think that they're going to tell him to play it safe and try to contain Daniels in the pocket? How do you think they're going to go about that
Mm.
strategy, at least in the first quarter?
First quarter, I would say keep him in the pocket. Like keep them in the pocket. You don't want them to break off those runs early, get that momentum going, get them feeling like, okay, we can do whatever we want against these guys. I don't want that to happen. But at the same time, like Daniels has been completing, I think like 70% of his passes. Like that's nuts for a rookie. Now, is that because they're putting him in good spots as he's running around to get guys open, or just the fact that they have played some bad teams? So I just sit there and keep him in the pocket that first half or first quarter and see what he can do. See if it's, if is he going to pick you apart? Then if he does, start, let the dogs off the leash, let them go hunt and see if they can get this guy.
One of the things that Tom Brady and Peyton Manning did better than anybody else, they made really good decisions.
Mm-hmm.
Jaden Daniels, for as young as he is, he
Yeah.
makes decisions. He makes them fast. He's very, it's not like, oh, he's young, he'll learn. There's this learning process. It's like,
No,
this is like his fourth season, it seems like already.
yeah. Yeah. Like you said, his decision making is quick. Once he sees it, he's like, that's where I'm going. And most rookies they need to take that time, see the field, see if someone's open, and he's not afraid to stick it in there because there's difference between NFL open and college
Yeah,
open.
his barometric pressure is like at 30 inches.
Exactly. College wide open, that's 5-10 yards.
Right.
NFL opens like 5 inches, 6 inches.
Yeah.
You got some good separation there. You got 8 inches of separation, and he's putting it in there. The kid has an arm, and he can sling it in there. The only thing, like I said before on one of our shows this week, if I'm a Redskin or a Commanders fan, I'm worried when he gets out of the pocket. He's getting better at protecting himself, but he still channels that, that young guy mentality of, oh,
Right.
I could run right through you.
I'm the
You're not
best
going to get
athlete on
me.
the field. Yeah.
It hurt him in college, and he took that hit a few weeks ago when he hurt his ribs. But he's been even great at that, realizing, okay, I can't take these hits. He's not like Anthony Richardson running around like, oh, I'm gonna, no one can stop me. Like Jaden Daniels has figured it out. Like you got to limit that stuff to be here for the long haul.
You know what I'm going to have you do? And I see all your little stuff, your Facebook things pop up, your
Uh-huh.
X things pop up. Can I have you add my stuff to your little repertoire there?
Oh, you're killing me.
Just maybe by next Sunday. You don't have to do
Yeah,
it
yeah,
today.
I can do it for the Sunday show.
Yeah, if you could, like, I don't know if you just have that all lined up and then it runs through your weekly show.
I,
You would, by the way, all of you one man's opinion people, check out Mike and Ryan, the two dumb yinzers. They also have Derpy on. He's great every once in a while. They're every Monday through Friday from
mhm.
11 a.m. till noon. They typically, I would turn on the notifications. First off, subscribe to their channel. Second off, turn on your notifications because unless they have the number one draft pick from like what year was that? 1992.
Well, yeah, yeah,
Unless they have the number one draft pick, they start a little late, and
yeah.
we're not going to say it's Ryan's fault.
We're
We're
not,
not
but we're
going
not
to
going to say
say it.
it's not his fault. We're not going to say
We're
it's his
not
fault,
going to
but
say it's Ryan's fault, but they
yeah,
do start at about 11:10, 11:15, maybe
yeah,
11:20 some days. But
yeah,
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 so typically they're on 4 or 5 days a week. They might take a Wednesday off here and there just due to life.
yeah, yeah. Weird ass
But
work schedules, but yeah, yeah. And
now let's get
anyone,
back to the matchup. We've been
yes.
talking about. It seems like we've been talking about the Steelers versus Jaden Daniels so far.
Mm-hmm.
Not so much the Steelers versus the Redskins or Commanders. Uh,
The football
Joey
team.
Porter Jr. What's his assignment today?
You know what he wants. He wants to follow McLaren all over the field. He wants to follow him, and I'm willing to say, yeah, go ahead and do it. Just follow him all over the field. I have no problems with Dante Jackson even taking him, but let him follow around their number two receiver. Who was that? Noah Brown. Okay, okay. Noah Brown should not be able to beat Dante Jackson.
Right.
Uh, so let Joey follow Terry, and if Terry beats him 1-on-1, so be it. That's what's going to happen. We have a good corner and a good wide receiver going against each other, and don't be afraid to roll over help to help Porter, but put him on an island with Terry. He's been shutting a lot of people down, and just keep it going. But if he struggles, don't be afraid to change it up.
Yeah, I mean, I like Porter all over it. I mean, Jackson's not as good or as fat, but he's more of a ball hawk
Yeah,
than Joey Porter Jr. So
yeah.
I'm good either which way.
Or
You know,
or you put
Jackson might get burnt a little bit more. Porter might,
get
draw a
that
penalty
penalty.
or two or cause a
Yeah,
penalty or two, with the little handsy.
yeah.
But what about? I mean, this is the healthiest our defensive backs have been all season, right?
It's so healthy. They let go of Terrell Edmonds.
Yeah.
He was filling in. He wasn't making splash plays, but he was making good plays. The handful of snaps he was in there. This is how healthy they've been, and it tells you how excited they are to have Cam Sutton back. That they let he hasn't played all year long,
Do
and they
you
let
see
Terrell
him
Edmonds
playing
go.
a lot or more
I
like
do.
important downs or?
I don't see him taking over for Beanie Bishop, but I see him getting a lot of snaps, and maybe the snaps that were going to Kazee that they might go to Cam Sutton.
Now, my favorite Steeler, since Troy Polamalu's retired, my favorite Steeler is none other than Minka Fitzpatrick.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just such a nice guy. And I love the way he plays. I just, is he going to like make a pick six or something key today? Or like, when are we going to
Uh,
see the Minka from 2 years ago?
I don't know. Like the excuses are gone. There's no he has to cover for this guy. He has to pick up the slack here and there. That excuse is out the window. He needs to step up, like you said, and make some plays. And not did Daniel Jones baited him how many times with his eyes last week? And we're seeing a lot of quarterbacks do that with Minka when he's playing that single high. They're looking him off one way and going to the other. And trust Porter, trust Jackson, and just play center field. It's like he's not trusting these guys, and I don't get it. But yeah, I want to see some, an interception, a forced fumble, a fumble recovery, something from him. But at the same time, though, too, the guys in front of him are playing decently too. So maybe is that limiting his options? But just cut down on getting fooled by these
Yeah,
quarterbacks that should not be baiting you with their eyes.
yeah, when Minka came over to the team, I mean, we basically had three great defensive players.
Yeah,
One on the defensive line, one in the linebacking core, and then Minka.
yeah.
And now I feel like we have like 7 or 8 really, really good players. I'm not saying they're all
Mm-hmm.
pros or anything, but I think we have
Oh,
like 7 or 8 starting guys that are just lights out. So maybe that's just taking more of his duties away from him.
it could be. It could be. And like Tara Austin said, he likes the way he's playing. He's playing his role in the system. And that's nice. That's all well and good. But when you're paying someone that much money,
Right, right.
I would a little bit more. You find a way to do something because, but if that's the case, okay, then maybe move Minka for an offensive weapon since we have so many weapons on defense now. Not to say we need to start getting rid of him because he's playing bad, but maybe in the offseason look at the allocation of resources. But yeah, because if everyone's playing well, we don't need that stud safety. I hope
Now,
that's not the case.
now let me ask you this. Um, where do you watch the games? Is there like a specific like recliner you sit on, or like what's your routine to watch the games?
Here, when I'm at the studio, I plop where we have the TV, and I just grab usually like a computer chair, plop in it, and sit
Do
there
you watch
watching
with
the TV.
Ryan?
Occasionally, yeah. If
Okay.
I'm recording from the studio, I'll do that, and we'll bounce. We're like nervous energy, just bouncing around. And but like if I'm at my house watching the game, I got my couch, I'm lounging in, watching it. Then if they still really start to suck, I go and storm off, MF everyone, and I throw it up on
Are you
my
like the
like
crazy guy walking down the street like at
I end up
halftime
becoming the guy.
screaming?
I've got a whole lot better. Usually I keep it in and I just start laughing at the boys. But then I'll go and I'll grab my phone, throw it on NFL Network, put it on the computer, NFL Network, and chill and just watch and then analyze the game at that point. Yeah. But once they start winning again, I have to go back out to the general public and they all yell at me to leave. Because I am that superstitious
You're
guy.
the
I'm like,
bad luck charm.
yeah, yeah, if I leave and they start winning, I can't go back because I'm the reason they lost. Yeah. Yeah. That's how I watch the game, man. Yeah, I go through waves and phases. That's why I think like if we ever do a live stream of the game, it'll be interesting to watch how I act.
Yeah, I've considered once I get this whole lot like this whole YouTube
Yeah,
thing, like I am so bad with technology, everybody. I appreciate everybody that bears with me
what we
here.
saw.
But I feel like if I'm gonna do anything, it's just gonna be at halftime. It's gonna be like 7 minutes maybe
Yeah,
at halftime. because listen, I listen to like the pregame shows, I listen to the halftime shows, and I have to mute them at points because I'm just like, these guys are so dumb. One, the
Yeah.
national media doesn't know our team. I'm
No.
convinced all they say is like the same three talking points that somebody else said earlier in the week, and you get
Yeah.
like no insight. You really have
Hmm.
to turn on like DVE or something and get the Steelers insight that knows
Yeah.
what's going on with the team,
Hmm.
or you could jump on the two dumb yinzers or one man's opinion and get the insight. But uh yeah, so I don't know if you guys do a live stream. I would probably put it on, but I don't know how much I'd pay attention.
Yeah, I know. It's like, but people are like, "Hey, we'll come and hang out and watch." But you see, like, man, some channels, man, that's all they do, man. They got these big, like, tens of thousands of people watching. So it's like enticing, but like, do people want to watch me for 4 hours during a football game?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, test the
Do I
waters, Mike. Test the waters. It's like I
do
might
I want to
comment
talk
at
to
like a
myself?
commercial. It goes to commercial break, and I'm like, oh no, I think the review is going to turn
Yeah,
this way
yeah,
or
yeah.
that way or something.
I don't know. See, I feel like I'd have to be, I'd have to dance for the audience. Wait for them to throw pennies at me.
You're like the Cowboys cheerleaders for the Steelers.
Yeah, yeah. They're not gonna make it rain. They're gonna make it hail when they see me.
Right, right. Can we move around the league here real quick?
Yes,
Uh,
yes, we can.
who do the Brownies play?
Do they play to this week?
I don't know. Obviously, the Ravens and the Bengals are done. The Ravens won what
The Bra-
35-34.
yeah,
And
yeah,
you guys talked about it. I want to say on Thursday on your show. I missed the Friday show. I was just a little busy, or maybe I tuned in the last 10 minutes or something.
yeah.
But on the Thursday show, you and Ryan were talking about how dumb it was for the Cincinnati Bengals to go for two to win the game. And I see a lot of teams do that. I went to a Ravens game 2 years ago, and the Ravens scored late in the fourth at Heinz Field or Acrisure, whatever you want to call it. And Harbaugh went for two and didn't get it, and the Steelers walked away with a 1 point win. It's like this for some reason in overtime, the away team's chances of winning are not good. So when
Hmm.
they have the opportunity to win the game in regulation, they go for two. That's what the metrics say. I think it's stupid. First off, I think the overtime rule is stupid. You know,
I love the overtime rule.
what's that?
I love the overtime rule. Make a
You
play on
love it?
defense. Yeah,
But
make a
here's
play
my
on
thing.
defense.
Okay, so if you go down, Mike, you get the ball first, you go down, you kick a field goal. Okay, I come down and I kick a field goal. Now, if you come down and kick a field goal, you win.
Yeah,
You got the ball twice, I got it once.
man,
That's
life's
what I
not
like
fair.
about it.
Or life's not fair. Make a play. You're allowed to make a play on defense. You're
I
allowed to
get
make a
it.
play on special teams. Like it's there, man. You make a
You like it
play.
better than the college.
Yeah, because it feels more like a real game. Whereas college is like you're just battling from what the
Yeah, you're
25,
taking
30.
penalty kicks or something,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. So I like it. I like it better. It's better than first team scores no matter what the game's over. No, like make a play on defense, play strategy.
I say
There's
you
they
play
always
10
say there's
minutes, and then whoever's winning after 10 minutes, that's it.
there's three phases
And if
of
you
the game.
tie, you tie.
You tie. There's three phases of the game. You make a play in one of those three phases. You're allowed to. The
The
league doesn't say
Steelers
you're
have
not
been
allowed
making
to.
plays on the special teams. We didn't even talk about that today yet.
Danny Smith is like, if he's not assistant coach of the year, I don't know who is. My God.
Yeah, the
And
players
what?
seem to love him too.
Oh, like you're like, dang gummit, they be beating me up. I tell them to don't hit me. I love how he talks like he's from the South, but he's a local Yinzer. I love it. It just adds to the lore that is Danny Smith. Like I hated him when he was first hired because the special teams were just so bad. But then, every year they've gotten better and better. And how can you hate this guy?
Yeah, I mean, especially Minka had that one. What was it? The extra point block that they took away, and
Yeah,
you add that in, and it's been an amazing year.
yeah.
Did you find out about the Browns? Did they play?
They're off this week.
Okay, so we're the only thing going this today
Mm-hmm.
for the AFC North. The Browns and are off, and the Bengals and the Ravens already played Thursday.
Yeah,
This 1 o'clock game. I mean, we're 30 minutes away, Mike.
yeah. It's getting there. It is. It is getting close. I can't wait, man. I haven't been 2 weeks without or a week without football.
Right?
I'm ready to go. Like I'm ready to buckle up the chin strap, go out there
Now,
and get
now
blown
what's
up.
Vegas saying about this game? What's the
It
over under?
it's
What
still
are
like just on ESPN on their thing. It's still Washington -2, but home field advantage is an automatic 3. So
right? So
why
this is
not
a
just
toss up game, pretty much.
it's a gimme, yeah. And I think that's where it should be. Washington's rolling, but they haven't really played anyone. The two teams that they lost to were the only teams I think that had winning records. It's kind of like how Miami was a few years or what last year when they were rolling through people. Every time they played someone good, they lost. Yeah.
We've played against some good quarterbacks so far. Aaron Rodgers looked like garbage.
Mm-hmm.
What's my boy from Atlanta?
Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, Cousins. Cousins, he's playing well, but it was his first week. It's just
We caught guys at the right time.
right. And this is, I think, we're catching
Because
the wrong
him at
guy at the wrong time.
exactly,
The
yeah.
defense needs to show me what they can do.
Mhm.
Do you think we can hold them to under what, 28?
Ooh, that might be tough because I think their average is 29.
Okay.
Oh, hmm. I don't
Yeah,
know.
because I was thinking they were going to score somewhere around like 28-31, somewhere in that
To be
range.
honest with you, I don't know. Depends on what secondary shows up. Depends on what rush defense shows up. Because the past 2 weeks, I would say no. But a week to prepare, and Tomlin's record coming out of the bye, 13-14. I think we
Is that
might.
his record coming out of the bye? Is a losing record?
13-4, excuse me, 13-4. He's
Oh,
only
I was
coaching
going to
for
say, I was like,
I don't
wow,
know why I
okay.
said 14. No, but 13-4, and I think we've won 7 in a row. So, and the way we've been dominant in the second half, especially in the third quarter, giving up 0 points, only averaging 5 points down the stretch in the second half, we might do it. But I have a feeling this might be the game where those numbers kind of get skewed a little bit in the opposite direction, where Washington might put up a few points in the second
Did
half.
did, did you look up the over under by chance?
It's still two,
No,
minus
no,
two
no, the
Washington.
over under, the
Oh, the
the total
over
score.
under. Oh, the over under. I did not look up.
Yeah, just pull that up there. I'll while you're doing
Let me take a look. See here. Let me
what's the
pull.
over under on Ryan? We have how many more games left this year?
8.
So after this week, there's 8 more games.
Mm-hmm.
What's the over under on Ryan joining us on Sundays? Is it 4.5?
Yeah, I put the line about right there. Over under is
He's got to deal
45
with
and a
all
half.
those damsels in distress with their
He does.
battery
He
dead on
does.
the side of the road.
Yeah, over under is 45 and a half is what I'm saying. And
45 and a half.
the line on at least on Fanatics has moved down to 1.5 for the Commanders. So the line's getting tighter and tighter. So it really is a pick me or pick them.
Huh.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like the over under is high. Or
Uh,
I'm sorry. The over under is very low. I think both teams are going to score over, 24.
yeah, because it's about 23 and a half where we're at. They're at 29. So, wow. The Steelers have a top 15 scoring offense, by the way. And for what we pay for the
All
offense,
those field goals add up, Mike.
well, no, but like the amount of money that's salary cap allocated to the offense, that's a whole hell of a lot better than I thought we would be.
Well, and you bring this up all the time. You got to remember too that the offense is being paid 39 million more than what we're paying
Yeah.
by the Broncos. So I mean, you add
Yeah.
another 39 million in there,
Yeah. But
it's
like
not like you have a $1 million quarterback.
no, but we have like outside of him, if we didn't get him, the highest paid players on the team on offense, I think were Sayamalo and James Daniels.
What about Freiermuth? Didn't he just get the new
That
deal?
that, that kicks in for next year.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. You're
coming
right. You're
into
right.
this year, our two guards were two of our highest paid offensive weapons.
And one of them's out for the rest of the year.
Yeah. Yeah. So that tells you like the why. Like people wanted to complain about the offense. Like we're not putting any resources, any capital into it other than young players. This is what you're gonna get. It sucks, but it's just comical.
What do
But
we have left here, Mike?
we have about 6 minutes.
Okay, we'll wait a few more
Call it
minutes to
5.
give our picks here then.
Yeah. Because what do we?
Can I see? I can't see the board, and here's what
No,
I
no, no, no,
understand.
no. The people are watching. No one's chatting today. They're enthralled with us today.
That's fine. That's fine.
Your
It's
your
okay.
your
It's a
nemesis
learning
is
experience. They're probably like, there's a stream over here, there's a stream over
yeah.
there. The one
Unless
guy's the
unless
one
the
guy's
chat's
taking up
not popping up.
85% of the board. The other guy's taking up.
Let's see. On my screen, we're even looking. On yours, I am the star of the show.
You are 90% of the show, Mike.
Figuratively and literally. My God.
So let me ask you a question. Okay.
Yeah.
This has nothing to do with the game, but should I get a green screen and then put like a like some sort of background on like the computer?
You can do that, or there's like
I
programs.
see you have like a black wall behind you.
Yeah, yeah.
Some
I
sort
just
of
put like a black soundproof thing and threw some of the stuff up there. But what I was doing even before that, I was just going in, fiddling around with settings and setting up my own background.
Yeah, because like sometimes you have some cool stuff going on in your background.
Yeah, yeah. That's just not green screen. That's just me messing around with OBS and then filters and just putting stuff on there. But yeah, get a different background, dude, if you want.
Yeah, I'm learning OBS a lot. I mean,
You
I
not to get
it's
technical here, guys, on the Steeler podcast, but if you ever do streaming, ever do videos, OBS is free and it is all you can do so much cool stuff in there. Love
that's what I'm on right now. Thank you, Wesley. My cousin Jason.
it.
Okay, so my mom's son. So my cousin Jason, that's his son. He's 18 years old. He's studying engineering at Penn State, and he's been helping me out with one my
Yeah.
YouTube channel and two to get this live stream set up. And uh, he talked me into buying this 27.
Oh,
You can't hold on, I
oh,
can't see it.
that's fancy. Oh wow. Well, this show has gone off
Yeah,
the
I got a
rails
nice
now.
27-inch uh monitor, which I'm going to be able to utilize here shortly
Yeah.
to like to change. Because if I take this over,
Yeah. You're gonna
I
mess
can
stuff
shoot it
up.
over there, but we don't want to do that just
No,
yet.
no, no. We don't want you messing with technology.
Oh, I'm the worst. I am
You're
the
you're
worst.
you
Mike,
are the Matt Canada of technology.
I don't even think I'm that good.
Well, he
Yeah,
did
I'm
run
really
pretty good
bad.
offense in college.
Mike
So
Mike sent me 35 streams. I couldn't join them, and then we had to do it on a Zoom. And are you able to do Zoom next week?
yeah.
Okay, awesome. Because it was way easy to set
I'll
that up.
hold
I
your
could do
hand. I'll hold your hand.
that. Sweet,
Oh my
sweet,
God.
sweet. What do we
This
got?
show,
Under 4 minutes?
yeah, we're at like 2 minutes. We've gone off the rails.
2 minutes, 2 minutes. Yeah. All right. Why don't we give our picks? Mike, what do you think the score is going to be? Who do you think is going to come home with the victory?
On the show, I did pick Washington winning by a field goal, but now I think I'm coming back into Pittsburgh by a field goal. I think it's going to be like we're going to come from behind and we're going to win 28-27. Don't ask how that adds up. But 28-27 sounds good
You
for
said
me.
we're going to win by a field goal. So you mean we're going to kick a field goal to win by a
to win,
point?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
okay. Because I was
Yeah.
thinking we were going to win by
Yeah.
3.
No, no, no.
There-
And don't ask how I got us to 25, but 28-27 sounds good to me.
There's this Saturday night live clip. It's really funny. I've watched it a million times, and basically it's like the soldiers in the Revolutionary War, and
Yeah,
George
with
Washington gives them the pep talk. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, we're gonna play a game called football. It's played with your hands. And they're like, football, sir? It's not played with, is there any kicking involved? He's like, there's a little kicking. And he's like, for points. And they're like, well, how many points is a kick? And they're like, well, sometimes one, sometimes three. It's hilarious. It's funny.
That's how I feel right now when I give my picks on Sundays, man. I'm like, yeah, I'm just.
I'll tell you what, all the way up to this show, Mike, I had the Commanders beating us.
Me too.
But throughout the show, the more I thought about everything and broke down like position by position, I have the Steelers 31
Ooh.
and the Commanders 28.
Ooh, that's
so I like the Steelers to cover, win outright, and I like the over. If you're a betting person,
if you are.
I'm not a betting person, but
That's interesting. That's interesting. The closer we get to kickoff, the more confident I get. But I will probably change my opinion again once kickoff happens. Like, oh, we're screwed.
Right.
Because I'm that Steeler fan. I get so optimistic and then I get so pessimistic. But yeah, like if they lose this game and it's a close game, I'm not going to feel bad because Commanders they're not a bad team. They're one of the better teams in the NFC. And like I told Ryan, they're that team that's young and dumb. They don't know where that they shouldn't be winning these games, and they are, and that makes them dangerous.
Oh, well, we'll see. We're like 20 minutes away from
Oh,
kickoff.
oh, Finchy. Two Dumb Yinzers better than DVE. Wow. I love it.
I agree. I listen. I was a fan of the two dumb yinzers before I was ever on the show myself.
I will take that compliment, sir.
Finchy. That's the dude that was on. What's his name?
I just know it's Finchy Blue Eyes.
Finchy Blue Eyes. Yeah.
I'm gonna.
That's
I'm
Ryan's
terrible.
buddy. You work together, right?
Yeah, I'm terrible with names and stuff until like I talk to someone twice. I am just that. It's not because I'm ungrateful
Oh,
or
I
rude.
need to talk to him like 100 times.
I'm just slightly retarded. Slightly.
Just
I mean, look at
slightly.
me. Look at me.
Mike,
That
anything else
that no.
before we get out of here?
No, once again, thanks everyone tuning in. Check out Two Dumb Yinzers Monday through Friday, 11 o'clock ish to noonish. Be sure to check out One Man's Opinion. Make sure you like, subscribe, put the notifications on for both our channels. And yeah, it's going to be a victory Monday come tomorrow, boys.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be on the board tomorrow during your show. We'll see how TJ Watt does, and we'll see what Phil the Still says. A little disappointed he wasn't on today, but that's all right.
You
Especially when I
guys,
talked about Watt
I
positively.
know, I know, I know. I was waiting to see what he would
He missed
say.
his chance. I
Hopefully,
just
Watt
think it's a perfect matchup for him. Like literally, Daniels rolls out right to where Watt always rushes up field. The two are going to collide.
Yeah, and in a perfect world, you two will like Watt will have a monster game. You two will both be on the board and somehow still go at it. I can't wait.
All right, everyone. Well, listen, next week we're going to be on at 11 o'clock. We should be on a little earlier. I'm probably going to hook up with Mike about 10:30 so that I could get linked back in again so that it doesn't run late like it did today. I apologize about that to everybody, but it was the first time I actually hooked up live onto this Sunday. We're going to be here for 8 more weeks. 11 a.m. every Sunday for the rest of the Steelers season. And then probably when they do the postseason, if it's like a Saturday game, maybe we'll try to do a Saturday one.
Yeah, I should be able to work Saturday game. Yeah.
All right,
my man.
Well, thank you everybody for joining.
Yes.
We'll see you next week, and be sure to tune into the Two Dumb Yinzers tomorrow at 11.
See you guys.